The easiest way to build a website is with today's sponsor, Squarespace.
I've been skating alone so much in the last year or so for certain reasons that sometimes I forget that I have this super amazing, talented group of friends that I would much rather be skating with. But for the first time in over a year, the Revive Skate team, the friends that I mentioned in the aforementioned sentence, will be taking their first official skate trip to none other than here, Fort Worth, Texas. Not only is Fort Worth the 5th largest city in Texas, but it's also where 60% of American paper money is made. Mom, I know how to use Wikipedia. It's also an amazing city for skateboarding, and upon notice of my friend's arrival, I wanted to make sure that they had the optimal fun at the optimal spots. So I prepped. So at 8:30 in the morning, with an hour and a half to spare before my friends came into town, I rode around to look for spots. This would be such a good handrail if the run-up didn't look like this. This one actually wouldn't be terrible if it had no skate stoppers on it, but unfortunately they have these massive skate stoppers that would take a lot to get off. The search wasn't going well, and I may have been distracted a little bit by finding a couple foundation spots that I kind of plan on building little ramps at, but enough of that Thomas Foolery, we don't have time. And when I finally did find a really good spot, this happened. I was looking for skateboard spots, actually. Okay. That same spot also had this buttery ledge, but you know what? Maybe on a Sunday we'll try it again and hope that he doesn't kick our asses. So I cruised and I cruised and I cruised, Tom Cruise, and although I did find a few things that seemed fun, you're limited on weekdays. Most places are open, and then I remembered one specific location that actually had several options at this one spot. The only issue is that they're bad. They're not bad if you live here and you don't have to travel hundreds and hundreds of miles on an airplane to get to, but they still felt right for some reason. And I'll tell you why, but first, let's meet up with our friends. First of all, there's Kevin. We actually met via Instagram and at a random skate park. He's a filmer, and he actually documented us all day. So all the fisheye clips that you see was filmed by Kevin. So thanks, dude. What up, dude?
What up?
How you living?
Huh?
How you living?
Good.
That's
I'm living great today.
And then Sam Tabor. I love Sam so much. What's up, man?
Can I hug you?
You can hug me all over the place. And then, of course, Andy Schrock. I love Andy.
Long time no hug. Dude, are you comfortable hugging me?
Yeah. Okay. And then Doug Desautel's, AKA Am Skater. That guy. Am Skater. Pro Skater. How come you haven't changed your name yet? And then I went across the street to talk to Brian Ames and Justin Loneker, and it was set. The first spot, noticed that it was the only good spot we went to, and the only spot that I didn't choose. So everyone else has good taste and I suck, okay? But since it is a weekday, we did get the boot. And to be fair, I showed the crew the pictures of the two spots I wanted to take them to, and they were 100% down. So the first spot we went to was actually this yellow flat bar, and to be fair, it's not the worst spot, but it's pretty limited because of this gap in the grass. It's not just a good flat bar. So even though it might not be the optimal spot, I still had fun.
I love you and everything about you.
Dude, I
single thing though. Now the cool thing about the next spot is you can actually just walk on over to it, and before you get to it, there is this handrail right here, and Justin Loneker actually jumped on it. Justin is underrated as hell. He actually killed this trip, but the next spot is it's right here. This is definitely the highlight of the spot, just this long ledge that goes out, but it's still a little tall, a little chunky. And there's also these two ledges that are very, very low to the ground. They're pretty fun, but they're hecka chunky. So all this is at one location, and separate, they're kind of not good spots, but together, does it make one good spot? I don't know, but we had fun.
How many tries do you think it'll take John to get to this?
I think he'll do it in the 2 tries.
The next 2 tries?
Or the last try that he lands it, that's probably the one.
Now, bad spots or not, at this point of the day, we were all having a blast catching up with my friends. It was a very, very lethargic feeling. Definition of lethargic, sluggish and apathetic. I was so off. It was just nice to catch up with friends, but at this point I was kind of running out of spots. But luckily, by the grace of all good things, Kevin was there and he took us to the final spot of the day.
And now a word from our sponsor, Squarespace. Look at all these beautiful templates. If you're trying to build a commerce website or a blog, there are so many options for you to choose from. If you already have a domain, it's really easy to transfer, or on Squarespace website, you can just look up what you want and see if it's available and just buy it right there. If you have an idea for a business, it's really easy to sell through Squarespace. You can also start an email campaign and start building that list of clients, people who will be notified every time you have a new update to your website. You can just send out your email campaign and grow that audience. If you also want to start a blog, which I actually plan on doing for the skate spots that I go around to, you can actually have that all on your website, and then also have like the maps show up and show you where the key places are, and then also have like commenting features down below where people can talk back and forth and maybe communicate about you build your own little social media following on your website. If you want to work with clients in the future and you want to seem really professional, there is appointment scheduling, so you can have your own little calendar set up and then send it over and be like, here's my availability dates. You can just schedule yourself whenever and then work your way like that. You can also have exclusivity. So on your website, you can have like a members only area where people can pay like a monthly thing to sign up for your service, whatever that may be. So head over to squarespace.com when you're ready. And if you want to sign up, you can use the link in the description down below, or squarespace.com/JohnHill to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video, and now enjoy the rest of the video.
How was your food, man? How did your belly feel?
Most stuffed.
Dude, that worked.
It did.
So this rail right here was legit the final spot. Look how low this rail is. Look how rough this ground is. Listen to how annoying this dog is. But even still, with all that, this is the most fun we had at a spot. So yes, maybe the spots weren't the best, and yes, maybe I'm being way too hard on myself, but I had to do the thing that insecure people should never do. I asked them how they felt about the spots. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'm gonna ask you what you thought of the spots we went to yesterday B. What was the first spot?
I don't remember.
I don't remember any of the spots besides the last one. What'd you think of the yellow flat bar?
The big long one?
The big long one.
It was fun to sit at and film. So it's sit and film out of 10.
So a 7?
Yeah, 7's good.
Okay.
That's like an 8 out of 10 spot, seriously.
Nice.
A 5.
Out of 10, what about the one spot we went to right after that? All the concrete ledges? And
That was pretty cool. I give it a 7.5.
7.5.
7.
Okay. So barely, so the same as the last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? No, I could skate that one. So 7.5.
Cool, perfect, 7.5.
The flat cap is like kind of the only cool thing there. I'm gonna give it like a 5.
Give it a 6.
What about the restaurant we went to right after that with the acai bowls?
That was really good. That was a 10.
Okay,
that was,
so
that was good.
Yeah,
They had
yeah.
pasta too.
Dude, eating is like
So much better
sicker
than
skating. The last spot, what would you give out of 10?
That was really fun to dork around on.
I think so,
I'd
too.
give that like an 8.
I want to give that a higher rating. that's like an 8.5 out of 10.
I'm picky now, because I skate California.
Right.
So it's like, I go to skate park and skate something 10 times better than that. 6.
A 6? Yeah, so I would give the first spot a 4, the yellow flat rail, even though it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's just, the second spot I would actually give a 7.5. The
That's what I
concrete
said.
ledges, I love that spot.
Okay.
I actually think that spot's dope. The last flat rail spot, what'd you give it?
Like an 8.
An 8. That's what I would give
Really?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we're on board and also the same skill level in skateboarding.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's crazy how I'm a little better than you, but it's,
What's up? So all in all, I would say they actually liked them. Maybe they're not super gnarly or super photogenic or super good, but they were quirky and weird, and luckily they're a group of friends who kind of just skate whatever gets thrown their way. Like me, I like skating everything. So subscribe if you want to be notified for part 2 of this adventure. They were actually here for the entire weekend. This was just one day, so we got a lot to unravel. Stay tuned. Take care, progress daily, and keep killing it.